she put the baby in the trash can, and then she put another clean liner over the top of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when they looked in there, there was no trash in there, but it was underneath the clean bag. The baby's dead. Okay, we have him in trauma too, but she killed the kid.
Yeah. How old was the baby?
I don't know. It's full term.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jessica, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my late but third day of Vlogmas. Thank you so much to everyone who comes back to my videos. I'm really enjoying doing Vlogmas. If you don't know, I just recently started doing commentary as of like September, covering the Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt case. And there's 2 other videos I've done, and then I'm doing like deeper dives, just basically things that I find interesting. And then for my Vlogmas, I'm covering topics that have already been talked about online, but then I'm looking into them a little bit more, or just giving my take or my perspective on things. And if that's something that you enjoy once you watch my video, please consider subscribing if you want to. Leave a comment below. I get people to disagree with me. I'm a little bit in a snarky mood right now because I've had 2 people on my last video with the Idaho 4 because I mentioned race. Like I mentioned, oh, if they were black men, the people left in the house would be considered suspects. And people were saying to me, like, if they were white males, and I agreed with that with every comment that said if it were like males of any race. But people are calling me racist. Can you, like, that's insane to me. Okay. Do you see the color of my skin? I'm going to mention things that impact my skin. Sorry. Like I said, I'm super just not in a great mood in regards to that because while I may look black, I'm native and I'm also white. So the people who make comments, if you don't like a black person mentioning race, go to another channel. Just like I'm Canadian, so if I mention Canadian things and you don't like Canadians, go to another channel. Don't like native people, go to another channel. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't welcome hate here, and I did not have any sort of hate in my video. I was very respectful when I mentioned my perspective and the questioning I had in regards to the case. So if you don't like it, go somewhere else. Sorry. I'm typically kind of like chill, but it just really irks me to be called racist when my whole family is white and I am the furthest thing from being a racist. I welcome all races and all nationalities, just like whatever. Okay, that's like the 3rd time I'm going to apologize for feeling feelings, but let's just hop into today's video finally. Okay, so if you've been living under a rock or you just don't know that much about this. It came across my For You page on TikTok many times and I saw a little bit of information about it. I didn't like look into it deeply. It just seemed like pretty like black and white. Alexee Trivizo, she is a 19-year-old girl who was in high school at the time. She said she didn't know she was pregnant and ended up giving birth in a hospital washroom in New Mexico. She disposed of the baby in the garbage and then even hid it under garbage and with a clean liner on top, and it was eventually found out, and she said, quote, "It wasn't breathing." In this video, I am going to show you all the evidence in terms of body cam, hospital surveillance, and witness testimony from the staff who were there at the time of this occurring, as well as showing her family members and what I think about that. So originally I thought this video was going to be about Alexee's mom and how I think she's involved, which I very much do feel like she's involved in this. But then when I was watching the raw body cam footage, I've linked in my description who I got this from, but it is just like public information. And I was piecing together all the testimonies from the interviews as well. Some of it didn't add up and it just doesn't make sense to me why people lie. So in the comments on the YouTube channel that shared this, people were saying like, oh, it was just like a stressful event and just like basically just making excuses for the hospital staff misremembering. But it is a pretty big deal to state things the way that you state them. Like, for example, one of the people said that she walked by, knocked on the door, and asked Alexee if she needed help, press the call button if she needs it, blah, blah, blah. But when you look at the hospital surveillance footage, it doesn't add up. And another one says that he checked on her multiple times. He did walk by a lot, which is good, but they didn't intervene as quickly as they could have, in my personal opinion. I'm not like blaming them, but I do think it's very important to hold healthcare professionals to a standard because it's up to them. Like, they are responsible for human life, and you're going to see here that there's a lot of errors. Maybe you won't see them, but you'll see that I think there's been quite a bit of errors, and I won't be surprised if there's going to be a lawsuit in regards to that, or at least some sort of thing in regards to that, because it's a pretty big deal in terms of like their profession and stuff. Maybe they have to get like special experts in or whatever.
You Chris Sanchez?
Chris Sanchez, yeah.
Nice to meet you. Barnabas Gonzalez.
Jim Minter.
Nice to meet you.
Have a seat. Hi. And your name is?
Lori
Lori.
Aragon, right?
and and Aragon. There's two of us. That's why I was using my middle name.
You alright?
That's good.
Haven't seen you in a while? That's a good thing, right?
Well, I don't know.
Tell us your name.
My name is, I go by HT, but my name is Hilliard Truman Halliday. I'm a licensed RN in the state of Oregon and a multi-state compact license.
Go ahead and state your name and what you do and where you work.
Heather Marshall Vasquez, MD. I am an emergency physician. My full-time employment job is through Holy Cross Medical Center in Taos, New Mexico, where I'm the medical director. And then I work as an independent contractor for Artesia General Hospital. I work sort of 2 to 4 shifts a month down there.
Okay. Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi, Miss Lewis.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just a Minter. Jim Minter.
I'm Delia Lewis.
Nice to meet you.
Sanchez Gonzalez. I met you the night of.
Yes.
An incident happened in January on the 27th of this year. Do you remember it at all?
Yeah, I'm assuming the 19-year-old that was pregnant.
Right. You came into contact with Alexee Trivizo. Can you tell us what happened on that day? Just from the beginning of everything that happened.
Yes, she presented, I want to say it was around 11:30 at night. I don't have the chart in front of me, so there's some details I'm going to have to sort of guesstimate from my recollection. Her presenting complaint was for back pain. She was brought in by her mother. We were told that she began having back pain after coming home from cheerleading practice. Sounds like she had gone to bed and then woken her mother up. And so her mother brought her in.
Can you tell us what happened, what you did with it, what from the beginning, from like when you first saw her to when you last?
Sure. So I triaged the patient.
Okay.
Brought her to our triage room, asked her some of the intake questions.
We have 3 nurses, 3 physicians. You have a triage nurse, and then we have 2 other nurses that take different rooms. Usually it's 1, 3, and 5, or 2, 4, and trauma 2. And then trauma 1 is one of those rooms where usually we don't have anything in there unless it's bad, and everybody kind of just is in there. So I was doing triage, and I was a charge nurse. It was a regular night. I remember she came in with back pain.
And then moved her to a treatment room. I probably started an IV, gave some medications.
Okay. Anything else?
What was her chief complaint?
Chief complaint, I can remember. I think it was abdominal pain or flank pain, something like one of those two.
Do you remember what treatment room you moved her to?
Possibly 2. I think it might have been room 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they had put her in, they were going to treat her in triage 1 with some regular medications for back pain.
Anything helps you remember that?
No, just looking at, kind of thinking of the layout of the ER.
Gotcha. So you triaged her from, did you bring her in from the waiting room?
Yeah.
Okay, so you brought her in from the waiting room, took her in the treatment room, and then, you triaged her, you just got her chief complaint, did vitals?
Chief complaint, vitals. I believe the doc came in and kind of did a quick assessment in the triage room before we moved her back to a treatment room.
And when I initially evaluated her, she really wouldn't sit still. She wouldn't really let me examine her. She had on a very baggy sweatshirt. And, a 19-year-old with back pain, the vast majority of the time, that's not going to be anything serious. But she was just not really acting right. And so I became concerned that there was something else going on, potentially a kidney stone or something like that. I asked the patient and her mother if she could be pregnant. Her mother said, no, under no circumstances. I've been buying pads for her every month. And so I ordered our normal evaluation, which would be some basic labs, including a pregnancy test, as well as a CAT scan of the abdomen and pelvis to make sure she didn't have a kidney stone or something like that.
But after the doctor examined her, she was a little concerned, I think, because of her heart rate and some other things. So she wanted to move her into a room and do a more extensive workup, which is what they did. At that point, I don't really know anything because she's taken out. She's not really my patient.
Okay.
So I know that Chris had her. I know that he came to me and said there was some issues because they had ran a pregnancy test on her and they found out that she was pregnant, and she was adamant. The mother was in the room with her and was adamant and denying to.
Did you see that, or did it was?
No, Chris came to me and told me this was what was going on in the room because we were having an issue.
Okay.
And he was worried about the mother, the dynamics between the mother and the daughter, because the daughter was completely denying she was pregnant, and the mother was relatively upset about that she was pregnant.
Okay.
The pregnancy test came back positive an hour late, maybe 45 minutes later. I can't tell you exactly how much time had elapsed when I became aware that her test was positive. So at that point, we sent it for a blood confirmatory test, which is what we call a quantitative HCG, which tells us, it gives us a number instead of just a positive or negative for pregnancy test. It gives us a number. And the reason why that number was really significant was because one of the concerns that you would always have in a young woman who is having back or abdominal pain could be a tubal pregnancy. And so oftentimes we need to correlate the level, the pregnancy hormone level, to determine if it's likely that there could be a tubal pregnancy. There's no obstetrics or gynecology at RTG General, and so it would require transferring her. I also verified at that time that we didn't really have the right kind. The ER has an ultrasound machine, but it didn't have the right probe on there. It had what we call the vascular probe, not the endovaginal or the abdominal one, which would be the ways we would look to see if there was a tubal pregnancy or a viable pregnancy. So I was going to have to call the ultrasound tech in. And so it was taking the lab a little bit longer than I would have thought to give us the actual quantitative HCG level. And so at that point, I started getting very nervous because I figured, well, maybe it's a really high number, maybe they had to dilute it down. And I wanted to check on the patient, and I asked the nurse where the patient was, and he said, well, she's in the bathroom.
So you're talking about Chris Sanchez.
Chris Sanchez, yeah.
Okay.
And so I told him, well, as long as she behaves, okay, if it's gonna make her, and he goes, yeah, she's okay, I think it's gonna be fine. So that's the last I heard of it. The next interaction I had was I had the tech, which was Lori Aragon, come and tell me, HT, you need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, then from there we gave her some pain medication.
They continue to give her morphine, knowing at 12:51 we have a pregnant woman, and you continue to give her morphine? Excuse me, you gave her morphine for 48 more minutes after that. She and her baby.
She started feeling a little better, and then she said she needed to go have a bowel movement, and that's kind of when the whole thing happened.
She had buzzed to go to the bathroom, so one of the nurses was going in there anyways because she was going to set up for them to do pap smear and everything. So she was like, I'll go ahead and disconnect her and she can go to the bathroom. So I was like, all right.
So what did you do after that? So when she went to do the bowel movement, where were you at?
Initially I was at the nurse's station, and then at some point I went and kind of checked on her, knocked on the door, seeing if she needed anything. She denied. She said she didn't need anything.
Did you hear anything?
I didn't hear anything.
Flush, toilet flush?
Yes, after a while I started hearing, so I probably checked on her 2 to 3 times, I'm not exactly sure. And then I just kept hearing paper towel dispenser and flushing and the water running. And I knocked again, did she need anything? Denied anything. And then eventually it got to a point where I said, you need to.
So she was in the bathroom, and then Chris, which is one of our other nurses, he was like, because I was like, dang, she's flushing that toilet like an awful lot.
Oh, so you noticed her toilet flushing? Toilet?
Yes. And
Okay, so like I was sharing a little bit there, is that I feel like one of the hospital staff story doesn't add up because she gives a lot of detail. And what I've learned with watching interrogations and all these different types of things is that sometimes people who lie give specific crazy details that actually aren't true but make you believe it because they're giving lots of detail. Has anyone else noticed that? Because to me that seems like a very common thing that happens. It doesn't mean she's full on lying. I'm not accusing these people of things. I just am making statements based on the evidence in front of me. So you'll see as the video progresses. I don't want to give a lot of commentary during the video. I really want the information to speak for itself. Another thing to note, because I don't want to, like I said, cut in a whole bunch, is there's one of the nurses. He's the younger one. He sounds like, I don't know, he sounds kind of like he's guilty to me, or at least he feels sort of guilty because of how he talks about like checking on her. So I wrote a note on my phone here that Alexee ran to the bathroom at 1:38 in the morning. The nurse that said he checked on her a bunch actually didn't check on her till 1:52, despite walking by the bathroom a lot of times. And then the door didn't open until 1:56. So she was in there for 18 minutes by herself, and that's when she disposed of the baby and all that sort of stuff. So there could have been a lot of time where the baby could have been saved. And I'm not like putting them at fault for the baby's death. I just think that more could have been done. Like, of course, a baby lost their life. A full-term baby lost their life, which is very sad. I mean, any baby losing their life is very sad, but this baby was full-term, which is a pretty massive deal. Because most often when you hear about stories, they tend to be premature babies. Not all the time. Obviously making generalizations here.
And then he was like, well, damn. So I went and I knocked on the door. And I said, are you okay?
The next interaction I had was I had the tech, which was Lori Aragon, come and tell me, HT, you need to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. There was quite a bit of blood in there.
And I asked the nurse where the patient was, and he said, well, she's in the bathroom. And I said, oh my goodness, what, how long has she been in there? And she'd been in there for like 20 minutes. And so at that point, I became very concerned, and I said, you need to get her out of there right now. So it took a while for them to find a key. The nurse was knocking on the door, and we heard the toilet flush several times. And so at that point, finally, the door opened, and there was just blood everywhere.
She said, yes, I'm fine. I'm just having a hard time going to the bathroom, is what she replied. So I was like, okay. And then as I walked, push the call light if you need anything.
So you told her to push the call light?
Yeah, if she needed anything. And then, like, a few more flushes had gone by, and then that's when Chris was like, I don't know, because I told him, what if she's having a miscarriage in there and, flushing stuff down the toilet? So he knocked on the door, and he's like, you gotta unlock this door. And then she wouldn't reply, and he's like, if you don't reply, he goes, and then that's when she heard him call for me. And he was like, Laura, you got the spare key to this bathroom? And I was like, yeah.
Come out, and I asked the clerk to get the key to unlock the door, because obviously she locked the door to go to the restroom. And
because we keep like a ring of keys by the desk where I sit.
Chris was telling me, she won't come out, so I told him you need to get the key because the bathroom's locked. And so he told her he was going to get the key, and so she came out.
So I went and I got the key, and just as we were getting ready to open the door,
whenever we finally had the key to unlock it, she opened it and just kind of walked out.
Did she say anything at that
She
point?
didn't say anything. She was just looking kind of straight past me and went back to the room.
she opened it, and all I saw was like blood everywhere, like on the walls, on the toilet. It just looked like a horror film.
And you say everywhere, it was also on the floor too?
Yes.
Okay.
And then,
Now, was it covering the floor, or was it like splotches?
You could tell she was wiping it up with paper towels because it was like smeared.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you look into the restroom?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
What did you see?
Went into the restroom and I saw a large amount of blood.
Where
And
at?
it was on the floor. It appeared to, like she had tried to wipe it up in places.
Mhm.
It was kind of on the back wall behind the commode, the toilet. And so I said, you okay? What happened? And she said, I'm on my period. what she said. And she walked out.
Came out, but there was some blood in there. So I went to Dr. Vakas and told her, I was worried that she did something to herself physically in the bathroom. You know, the way she reacted being pregnant.
Okay, so just to quickly jump in here, there's a massive problem here when it comes to when Alexee was told she is pregnant. So we'll probably find out, obviously, as this court case unfolds, because it will be available to the public. They had the results like 45 minutes after she was there, and then they were waiting for the blood test. The doctor says it, you'll see if I haven't already played that the doctor said it took longer than what they were expecting, and they don't know why. But they knew before she went to the washroom that she was pregnant, and the numbers would indicate a further along pregnancy, if not like full-term pregnancy. And she ran holding her butt, which anyone who's birthed a baby, like vaginally in particular, if you've or at least like attempted vaginally, you know that pressure down there in your butt, like you feel like you're gonna poop, and it's something you can't contain once the baby, like especially if you're someone who's been forced to like hold in the baby. With my second, they said I had a hold in the baby, and I was very much against that, but she had a medical issue, so I had to do it. That pressure, there's nothing else like that pressure of a human life coming out of you, and they would know the signs. So I think where it can come from here is that they don't have an OB department in this hospital. It's like a small town hospital, which is why at the end they end up airlifting her to another hospital for postpartum care for her bleeding, because she was bleeding heavily, and that's very important obviously to address. I think that's where it could come from, but it's going to be interesting to see the details come out, because a lot of their stories didn't quite align, and that can happen obviously, like especially because the charge nurse, he wasn't actually there for the entirety of the interactions with Alexee. But yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts on that.
And the things that I was being told.
How much blood was in the bathroom?
It was smeared around, so it's hard to tell exactly how much. But it was enough to cause me to have concern.
Okay.
I really thought she had done something physically to herself when she found out she was pregnant.
And then the one that does have the footage of that, she's on vacation right now, is Erica, and she works in lab.
She took photos of it?
Before, because she was like, whoa, this is like...
Well, I didn't know that.
Yes, and I didn't know that either till just recently.
And who is that?
Erica.
Compost or...
No, let me give you her last name, just a minute. I'm terrible with last names. She has the pictures.
Is she a lab tech?
Yes. And she's on vacation right now.
She's the one that's going to come next week.
On the 27th?
Yeah, in 2 days.
Okay.
Sorry.
So and I did tell her not to erase that.
Good.
I said, do not erase that, because that's evidence.
When did she find them? Or when did she tell you about them?
I think it was like 2 weeks afterwards.
Oh, okay.
She had shown me the pictures, and then that's when I told her, do not, because I was like, dude, can you believe that? Like, because we had a patient that was pregnant at the time, just like after that, and I was like, on top of it. Just didn't want another recurrence.
And then I went in, because at this point we had already received the positive pregnancy lab test.
When was that?
I couldn't tell you the exact time, but I know prior to that, we got a positive pregnancy test on her.
Okay, prior to the bowel movement, did you tell her that y'all got a positive?
No, the doc hadn't been in there to tell her yet.
Okay, okay.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so anyways, the floor was just smeared with blood, blood on the wall, like on the toilet and stuff. And
do you remember which wall?
it was like the back wall between the toilet and the sink.
So like if you're looking at the toilet, like...
Yeah, like say the toilet's right here where you're at, and then the sink's right here. It was like up this way, blood splatter.
What in...
Like...
In your line of work, what would cause that kind of splatter?
I think something that got pulled out or ripped. Like if you rip something and blood just went, it was like once you see...
Yeah, so went in there, and I did look into the trash can at that time to see if there would have been anything tossed, but the liner was fresh and completely empty. I didn't pick up the can, obviously I would have known, but I just looked in the can and there was nothing in there. It was a fresh liner.
So there's no trash in the liner?
There was nothing in there, yeah.
Do you know if they keep fresh liners? Because I know some places they put
there's usually
new
like
liners
a roll
in the bottom of the trash can, and then they put the liner in and take the trash out.
Right, that way when they change it, they can just put a fresh one in. So yeah, there's usually a roll or a bunch of extra liners at the bottom of the trash can.
So you said there was blood on the floor, and it looked like some parts of it looked like it had been
Right,
wiped
it looked
up?
like it had been wiped up.
Well, and you said on the wall. Was there any on the toilet?
I think there might have been some at the bottom of the toilet. I don't remember if there was some like on the actual seat.
Okay. Question: when did she find out she was pregnant?
Right as it was pretty early on because we did the urine first off. Any female that comes in with back pain, we do a urine right away because we're worried about a urinary tract infection. And with any female, when we do that, we always do a pregnancy test to make sure we don't give them medications that would contraindicate pregnancy.
Do you know who told her she was pregnant?
I believe Dr. Vasquez did.
Okay.
I believe. I don't know because I wasn't in the room for that because I wasn't involved with direct care.
Okay.
But I knew she knew fairly soon because we already were having an issue with the mother being upset about her being pregnant.
Prior to going to the bathroom?
Way prior. Because then they'd start an IV and then they started running blood work on her because once you find out someone's pregnant, then you run another lab test to see how far along they are.
Okay.
So they started an IV and we're giving her some fluids. I guess I don't know exactly what they were doing. I wasn't involved with that kind of care. But I told Dr. Vasquez she definitely needs a vaginal exam. I'm concerned that she did something to herself. That was my concern. And they took her right into the room.
All right, and then so the doc hadn't told her that she had popped.
Not yet.
So like, because speaking with Vasquez, she said that, and don't quote me on this, but like y'all did a urine and then a blood.
But, right, so typically they'll do a urine and that just tells you negative, positive, and then they do the blood. It kind of gives them a range of how far along.
So
how far along she
did
is.
the urine come back after as well, or so did all of it come back after she came back?
It probably all came back before.
Okay.
Before the.
But the doctor would be the one to tell her.
Yeah, the doctor would be
Okay.
the one to go into the room and tell her. And after she came out of the restroom, that's when she went in to do a vaginal exam. Obviously, we didn't know what this blood was from. We were a little concerned that maybe she had known that we were gonna figure it out and that she might have harmed herself or something in the restroom. So the doc wanted to go check her, but obviously that wasn't the case.
So then what occurred?
So after that, her and the patient went back to the room. The physician and a female nurse went in to do the vaginal exam just to make sure everything was good there. I believe, I wasn't in the room, but I believe that's when the doctor said, hey, your test came back positive for pregnancy. She adamantly denied it up to that point, even with me the entire time. She said she was a virgin. She's had her period every month consistently. So the doc was doing that.
Then you said that, and she told you that when you were
She
triaging?
told me that in triage,
Okay.
that she was a virgin and that she had her last pregnancy was just prior on that month and had.
You mean period? Because you said pregnancy.
I'm sorry, yeah. Her period, she had them consistently every month.
At that point, finally, the door opened and there was just blood everywhere. And so even though we didn't have the right probe for the ultrasound machine, I felt like I'm just going to look because I had already called the tech in, but the tech wasn't there yet. So I took her directly to the room and did a ultrasound. I couldn't see anything. Again, it was the wrong probe. It's not the right probe to even. I don't even know if you could see any. Like it's the kind of probe that we use to put like special IVs in the neck.
Mm.
So it wasn't the right kind of probe. But she was bleeding a lot, and so we went directly from doing the ultrasound, and again, I was waiting for the tech to come in, to doing a pelvic exam, and it probably took me 10 or 15 minutes to, when I did the pelvic exam, her cervix, the opening to the uterus was just wide open, and there was just blood pouring out, and I was really mystified as to what could be happening, because I thought, well, maybe she's having a miscarriage. It probably took me 10 or 15 minutes to evacuate all the blood. And just as I was finishing with that exam, the charge nurse came into the ER and said, I need you out here right now. And I walked out into the main department. The nurse was still in a different nurse was still in the room with the patient trying to get her, clean her up after the exam.
And then I told Lori, call housekeeping, they gotta come clean this up. Which time she called Leela, who was on call for housekeeping. Then I was just sitting there, and then the next thing Lori comes and goes, HT, oh my God, you better come to the bathroom.
So then I started doing my charting, and then we called in the housekeeper to clean the restroom. We call it like a terminal clean, just when it's really, it needs to be mopped and everything. And then she felt the weight in the wastebasket.
I noticed she had bloody footprints that she was leaving, going back to the room that we had put her in. So I had called housekeeping, which was Leela, and I was like, hey Leela, I'm sorry to bother you. I said, but I think this patient just had a miscarriage in our bathroom and she left like a mess. If you could come and clean it. And she said, okay. So she came down and she started cleaning it, and then she went to pick up the wastebasket.
Can you tell me everything that happened on January 27th?
Okay.
Like your involvement from
The time I was called.
to the end.
Okay, I was called and to go clean the patient's bathroom in ER around, maybe 2 o'clock or so, I think it was the time, I'm not too sure. So when I went in there, it was a gory, bloody massacre mess.
Could you describe it if possible?
Yeah, there was blood everywhere. There was blood on the floor, on the wall.
Do you remember which wall?
The one behind the toilet, and then the one on the side, right here. You know, there's the one where the toilet sits, back of that.
Yeah.
And then on the side.
Where the call button is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And on the floor, everywhere. I mean, it was.
Was it like this is the bathroom, here's the toilet and the sink, then here's the door. So was it just like this, or?
Actually, it was all over the place, all over the floor, because even when I was going into the bathroom, there was blood on the coming out of the bathroom on the floor.
Okay.
So it was everywhere.
Okay.
So there's blood coming out of the bathroom? Do you
Yeah,
know how far it went?
footsteps.
Okay.
I think they were the person that was in there, her footsteps, as she was coming out. Because I was like, oh my gosh, I mean, it's even out here.
How far out did you have to clean to get it?
From the outside,
Yes.
right by like around the water fountain,
Where's the water fountain at?
right there.
Oh, right next to the restroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if it's on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it went out to the water fountain. Did you have to clean like the hall or anything at all?
I mopped up that area right there.
Okay.
And was it footprints?
Yeah, it was.
Was it footprints in the hall?
Yeah, when, I guess she stepped on it, and then walked out with it, and then their socks were wet.
Okay.
But it wasn't all the way to her room or nothing like that. It was just right by the water fountain.
So just footprints in the hall to water fountain?
Yeah.
Okay. And what else happened?
Okay, then I went in there, and then I started cleaning. I started. First thing I did was I started mopping, because we can't be walking around on that blood.
Okay.
So I started mopping, and then I started. After that, I started wiping everything down. That I went to the toilet, and I cleaned the toilet, and then I got everything. I had to do everything like twice because it was, bad. I wiped down the walls and everything. And after I did all that, I usually throw my trash first, but for some reason that night I had to clean the floor up and everything else. And when I went to go through the trash, I felt that when I picked up the trash and I looked in it, there was trash in it. But I knew that it didn't feel like when I picked it up, it was some weight. So I thought it was the trash bags, because we put the trash bags on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started getting the trash out. And then when I did that, I seen that there was a baby in there. And that's when I freaked out, and I called Lori and HT, or the nurses up front.
And then that she put the basket down and she yelled for me, and she was like, Lori, come here, the wastebasket's heavy. And I was like, what do you mean the wastebasket's heavy? So when I picked it up and I moved it towards the door, I was like, oh, shit, it is heavy. So I pulled it out, because it had like a fresh liner inside, so we didn't think nothing of it because we looked. So when I pulled the liner out, there was like paper towels. Then we had rolled trash bags already in there, but she had grabbed a few and like balled them up and put them on top of him. So when I removed them, that's when I noticed the baby on the bottom of the trash can, just wrapped in the bag, like.
And because there was a baby in the trash, and the baby, when I looked at it, the baby was wrapped up like in a, like at the bottom of the trash can, and with trash on top of it, in a trash bag.
And so how did you see it, like as soon as you picked it up?
No, after I picked up the trash bag that was on top,
Okay,
where
so
they were throwing the trash at, when I picked that up to change it, that's when I noticed that there was, when I seen the baby.
Okay, so you lifted the liner and then saw
Yeah.
the baby. Okay.
She had it tight, like because it was the top was twisted and then like tucked under, like so it wouldn't open up.
So basically, if you like
When you grab trash and you like
swing it and then you fold it over to like put it down or whatever,
Yeah, that's how it went.
and it was clear.
It was a clear bag.
So-
Yeah, it's one of those clear bags.
So you
So it was a
saw,
hospital liner?
so you saw the baby inside the bag.
Yeah, and then when I picked it up, that's when I noticed it even more because all I saw was black and purple. But once we picked it up, like the bag suctioned to his face, and that's when I yelled for my charge nurse, which was HT, and I told him, "Hey, she put her baby in the trash can." So
I go in the bathroom and she goes, "Something's in the trash can." I'm like, I looked in there. There's a clean liner. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Pick it up." I picked it. I could feel the weight. I knew then we had a serious problem.
Then that's when we found the baby and then moved it into the trauma room, trauma 2. And
Did you find the baby? Did you see the baby
I saw the baby
in the trash can or?
in the trash can. HT, he was there. He's another nurse, and Leela, she's the housekeeper. They initially found it, and I went over there and saw what they had.
I immediately I just grabbed the trash can and went right across the hall into trauma 2. The liner was pulled out, but there was another trash bag in there in the bottom, but it was all it was rolled up. So I had to tear it apart. And then, of course, I saw the baby in there. So I pulled the baby out, got him on the bed, checked for signs of life. There was absolutely no life whatsoever. I immediately came out of there after I did that, went into the room where she was performing. She was performing the vaginal exam, and I immediately told her, "You have to come out now."
What exactly did you see when you looked in the trash?
I think at that point they had already ripped the bag, but it was just laying, at the base of the trash can under the liner that they had pulled up. And there was like some paper towels in that bag with the baby. And then we moved it over and took it out and put it on the bed, on the stretcher.
So HT and Leela found that you were. So what made you go to them? Did they tell you something, or did you just go?
I believe Leela basically called out for HT, I think, and then he went over there, and then I went over there as well.
Oh,
after
you went to go see what happened?
Right, to see what, because typically if someone's calling out in the ER, it's not
Bad.
good. Yeah, it's usually not good. But,
Oh, and you said you've been working here 5 years, so
yeah, I've been working here about 5 years.
so you're already prepped for something bad?
Well, not necessarily like this. This is definitely unusual for us, but yeah, for bad stuff, if you hear someone kind of calling out, you always go check to see if they need help, basically.
And could you tell if the baby was alive or
They did
Passed.
not look alive.
It didn't look
did
alive.
not look alive. They looked.
And I know it bugs you, but can you describe the baby?
Yeah, he was about like that big. He had hair, and he was like purplish, but still not like pink. I don't know how to describe it. He was he wasn't bruised or nothing like that.
So this part has really made me emotional. Obviously this case is very emotional, just like in general, but hearing the housekeeper say that the baby was slightly pink, and then she went and grabbed, the staff to help her, and then the charge nurse said that he immediately brought the baby to trauma room 2, but really you can see in the surveillance footage, and I'm going to slow it down and everything for you, he actually just ran and grabbed the doctor. It wasn't like the immediate thought to save the baby. And I know when they look in, they can see, but they didn't pull the baby out to check it. It just saw it in the garbage. So this is the part where, I don't care about people's opinions. If they think I'm being a jerk by bringing up that the hospital could have done more, they should have pulled that baby out right away. And what's alarming to me is that the doctor's first response is she didn't want to contaminate a possible crime scene, which I understand, not contaminating a crime scene, but any rational person would see a baby and want to save them. You wouldn't be charged with a crime for saving a baby, especially with cameras all around and everything. The camera would have saw that, just like we could see that they just left the baby there while they all ran and did something and then ran back. And then how she says she dumped the baby onto the table, it's really hard to hear. This is a very hard case, and I feel like there's some like emotionlessness happening here, and it really hurts my heart, especially as a mom, like who's grown 2 babies and birthed them. It's just like, it's alarming to hear this, that like there wasn't the life-saving measures given to this baby that he deserved, and it's just really sad. So let's just remember that this is a baby, okay? I don't care about adult feelings. This is a baby.
And he was like purple, pink skin type color.
Okay.
How was the bag? How was the bag placed, or what?
It looks like she wrapped it around like that, and then wrapped it like under him, and then put him on the bottom of it.
Okay. And was the baby moving at all?
No.
Okay. Did you touch him at all?
No.
Okay. And so you said you called HT and Lori?
Yes.
Okay. What happened? What did you see after that? What did you do?
Okay. When all that happened, I moved the trash can. I told him that there was a baby in the trash. I could barely talk at that moment. And so then they took over, and I left. I went up to the nurse's station.
So once the baby was taken into the trauma room,
Yeah, he went into trauma 2.
okay, did you have what happened? What did you do at that point?
I just remember I stayed in there because HT went to go get Dr. Vasquez, and then I noticed that the umbilical cord looked like an animal had tore it apart. Like, you know, have you ever eaten string cheese?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when you twist it, that's how the bottom of the umbilical cord looked. And I just remember it caught my eye, and I was like, God, I was like, this chick really ripped this thing apart, because those things are hard to cut.
Right.
Did you find the other part of the umbilical cord?
No, we're thinking, I'm not sure if she had delivered the placenta, because I wasn't in there when they did the final examination.
Mm-hmm.
But either she delivered it in Loveless or she flushed it.
You always didn't find it at all.
We didn't find it at all. I even looked in the little cabinet that we have in our bathroom, because it has like a bottom cabinet. So I opened that up just as, you know, I didn't want no more surprises.
And how big would that be? How big would the placenta be? Do you have any idea?
No, I would say maybe me personally giving birth myself to a full-term baby, it would have to have been about the same size as the baby.
Like with HT and the doc at the room, did you do anything else with the baby or the patient after that?
After that, I was told to get a hold of the on-call OB in Loveless, because she needed to speak to her, because she had to transfer that patient out because she was bleeding.
Okay.
And she came out, and we went into trauma 2, and she reassessed the baby. At that time, between me and Chris and her, we determined, you know, there was no reason for us to begin any life-saving. The baby was completely gone.
And the nurse said, the charge nurse said, the housekeeper and the secretary found a dead baby in the trash can. And so I said, well, where? Because now I needed to verify if the child was alive. So they brought me the trash can. I ran into the trauma 2 room, the resuscitation room, and dumped it out. And it did not take me very long to determine that the child was dead. And I made the decision to not attempt resuscitation. Really, the temperature was cool, and I also did not want to contaminate if it was a crime scene.
Did you have any contact with the baby after that?
All we did, we brought the baby up. We called the doctor, obviously, out of the room from her exam, and we came in, kind of, doc assessed the baby, and basically determined it was not viable to completely work the baby and all of that. So that was about the extent of it.
Okay.
What did the bag look like?
The bag was the original trash bag that was in there. It had trash in it. When I pulled it out, it was spun, or it was tied, and then it was folded underneath the baby in there. So it was like a little capsule the baby was in. So when I had to tear that bag open to see the baby in the bottom. If you would look in the trash, I looked in there. When she told me, she was something. I looked. I said, "What are you talking about?" Because there was a clean liner in the trash bag.
So basically, he was in the bottom, trash on top of him,
and then another clean liner had been put on top. Yeah. Then after that, after we determined we were not going to do any work on the baby, I shut the room down and I called the police.
And then they called the doctor and everything and all that stuff.
After that, did you have any contact with the baby?
No.
Okay. And then, what happened after that? After you went to the nurse station?
Oh, they all went over there with the baby.
What did you do?
I just stood there and I was freaking out and everybody was, asking me what's going on and whatever. And I stood. I didn't go back over there where they were at.
Okay.
So at that point, then my attention shifted to making sure that the mother was stabilized because I realized she just delivered a baby. I didn't know where the placenta was. She could die from a postpartum hemorrhage. So I contacted the on-call obstetrician at Loveless Regional in Roswell and said I need to transfer this patient to you emergently. They said, "Yep, just send her up." I think the fire department just took her up right away.
And so you're the one that talked to the OB?
I was the one that got a hold of the Loveless hospitalist, and I believe her name was Stephanie. And I had set up to where we got this patient transferred to Loveless, so that way they can go in and clean her out and stuff to make sure she wasn't hemorrhaging or anything like that.
And then I didn't let anybody. No one went back in that room. I made sure of that till the police arrived.
But before we transferred her, I talked to my team. I said, "Look, we're not going to talk to her until we have police present. I want witnesses present for our discussion with her." At that point, several of your officers arrived. They arrived very quickly, and we went in and I said, "We found a dead baby in the trash." And she said, "Well, it came out of me and it wasn't moving, so I just put it in the trash." And the mother started screaming at her, screaming, "I knew it! I knew it! I knew it!" This is after they had both sworn up and down that there was no chance she could be pregnant.
Okay.
So did any of the nursing staff find the placenta at the emergency room?
No.
No? Okay.
I have no idea what happened with the placenta.
She didn't deliver it at Loveless either.
She probably put it in the toilet, would be my guess.
And would that have been something that was able to be flushed?
It depends on how broken up it was. If it's torn, it potentially could have been flushable. Or it's possible the housekeeper could have thrown it away without thinking it was just bloody, because there was blood everywhere in the bathroom.
Really?
I just pulled the doctor out of the room, so nothing's been said to the patient or the mother that's in there yet.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Like, how big is the baby?
It's full term.
What? 9 months? Something was crying. Lexi, have you watched the news of the girls what they do to their babies and what they go to jail?
So what I said is, we're going to have the detectives come over here and they're going to talk to you, okay? All I can
But
say
she's
is,
not going to go to jail?
right now,
No?
right now she's being detained. So she's not going to leave from here at all, period. Okay? So one of us will
She's
be
in your custody?
Yeah, she's detained. Yeah, she's not under arrest, but she is detained. Okay, she's not free to leave. So while this whole thing is coming up, you're not free to leave. Okay, one of us will be in here the whole time with you, because you're not going to try to leave or nothing like that. So this is the one that happened in?
Yes.
Okay, is there any way I can get this? Where was the trash at? Where's the trash can at?
Yeah.
Okay, does it still have everything in it?
Yeah.
Yes. The baby's out on the bed.
Okay, that's fine. So what I need to do is I'm going to go ahead and secure this, make sure nobody gets in here no more.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and you said everything else is in here? Okay.
So, like I said, he was in the trash one, wrapped up with the paper towels underneath that. So I pulled that out of the way to get him out so we could check on him.
Right. Yeah, that's what I say. We'll leave it the way it is,
Right.
and then, but like this too, could we go ahead? I'm gonna have to secure this room also,
That's fine. That's
since you
fine.
pulled everything in here.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I just wanted to see if it was actually if the baby was in the bag
Yes,
itself.
the baby was in the trash bag.
Okay.
She put it right in the. See, you can see all that stuff is from the trash. It was in the ER,
Right.
and she put him in there, and then she put a new one over the top where you couldn't see it.
Okay.
And the only reason we found them is because when she went to pull the trash, she goes, "This is awful heavy."
Kind of heavy.
And then Lori went and looked, and she goes, "Holy shit!" And then she came and got me.
Okay.
And I got the doctor. We brought the baby in here. Of course, he's dead.
Right. Okay. Good. That way nobody else comes in here. No?
This door and that door.
Yeah, just nobody else to come in this one and that one either. Sorry. Okay, so I'm not going to ask you a lot of questions, okay?
So even though everyone has probably obviously already seen all the footage that there possibly is on this case, because it's quite old in terms of like it happened in January and the information came out, I don't know, a few months after that. Like surveillance footage was from, and like body cam and all that stuff was from like April or whatever. Well, the body cam was from January, but then like the interviews were from April. Everyone's already seen this, but I wanted to keep in the housekeeper's body cam footage because she got so emotional and it actually shows what the normal proper response is for finding a baby. And I know people work in healthcare, they see death, but as you would have heard or are going to see, someone said that this is their first baby death. The police officer did, and then another staff member did as well. So it's not like it's a common occurrence for them to see dead babies. So it's just, it's something to remember.
The detectives are going to come, and they're going to be the ones to ask you a lot more questions than I am. Okay.
Okay.
So what the basic thing is? How did you get notified to come over here to check it out? Or
Lori called me to come clean the bathroom because it was all full of blood.
okay.
So that's what I was doing, and the last thing I was going to do was throw the trash. And when I picked up the trash, I thought it was heavy, and so I started looking in there, and on the very bottom she had it covered with some toilet paper, and that's when I called Lori and told her to come and look.
Okay. So did you look inside of it at all or anything like that?
Yeah, I looked inside of it, and there's where I seen something, on the very bottom of the toilet paper that covered it up in a plastic bag.
Okay. When you looked at it, did you see that it was a baby, or what did you think? You knew already? Okay. All right. Like I said, I don't want to ask you too many questions because the detectives are going to ask you a lot more than I am. Okay. So I don't want you to have to repeat yourself or.
Yeah, I was about like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of traumatic. So.
Yeah, it just bothered me at first.
Yeah.
And it still bothered me.
Yeah. No, I understand. Trust
I
me.
wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. Okay. Mom has them? Okay. Not allowed to come back in a moment.
No?
No.
Can you tell me why not?
Because now it's an active investigation.
I'm just going to address it in this one little interjection here, is that there's a serious problem with Alexee's mom, Rosa. She has an issue. She is controlling. She's manipulative. She thinks she can bully people, and she's a fake crier. It's like a sociopathic thing to go, and like her daughter's the same way. You would have saw their faces already, the scrunch face and making it sound like they're crying. You know who's actually emotional is the stepdad. I believe they all knew she was pregnant because as you'll see coming up here, they all knew she was pregnant. So you'll see that the stepdad is crying and whatever. Like if I didn't already show that the pregnancy thing, like of her cheerleading and stuff, you can see she has a very obvious bump. And the boyfriend, his mom, wasn't emotional at all either. And just like, I don't know, the accusatoriness of Rosa, she's like pointing to, she's the grandma too. It's like, it's so weird. Like the lack of emotion shows like sociopathness in my mind. Like this is just an analysis of a non-expert. I am not an expert. I'm just a human who is analyzing another human. There's something seriously wrong, and I hope that she's getting investigated for a possible involvement in this. Sorry, my husband's trying to keep my son away. I hope that she's getting investigated for possible involvement. I hope everybody in this case is getting investigated for possible involvement in terms of like the family, because they would have had to have known. And it's just, it's not just Alexee. Like she is obviously a bad person for doing this. But there's more justice to be served here, in my personal opinion.
So once the detectives get here, then we'll come out here and speak with you. Okay. Okay. Could I get her ID back, please?
Yeah. Is she handcuffed or anything?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Rosa.
Rosa?
Rodriguez.
Okay. Hey, Alexee. I know it's kind of tough right now. Okay. I know you're scared. I know everything else. Okay. As of right now, I cannot allow your mom to be in here with you. Okay. So once the detectives get here, then she may be able to come back in here. But as of right now, I can't allow her to be back in here. I can't allow her to come back in here yet.
But when they get here.
Yeah, once they get here, then it's up to the detectives, and then you could ask them if she can come back here. If they're okay with her coming back here, then she can come back here. Okay. The reason why is because you're an adult. You're 19 years old. Okay. If you're a juvenile, I would gladly have her back in here. I already told them. So
She's up front?
yeah, her name's Rosa.
Rosa? Yep. Hi, Rosa?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. What questions do you have for me right now?
What's gonna go on? Like, what? Can I be with her?
She's getting life flighted out right now.
Okay,
So they're taking her right now.
okay,
I haven't spoke to her at all.
okay. So, like, what's gonna go on? Like, what's gonna happen with her? Like,
So she's gonna get treatment before we even talk to her because she needs to be stabilized. So that's why she's getting life flighted out.
okay,
Once she gets stabilized, we'll try and talk to her. The baby's gonna go up north for autopsy. More likely it'll be done within the next day.
is she gonna get detained after, like, she's released? How?
Get what?
Hey Alexi, so you're getting transported, okay? So you're not detained no more. The detectives will be contacting you, okay? So they'll get a hold of you. So let me get your social security number real quick.
My mom has that.
Okay, give me a good phone number for you.
Like, are y'all gonna take her into custody or anything like that? Like,
That depends on what the DA finds. We have to wait for the autopsy to come back to see what happened. Because right now with how everything happened, we're going to do an investigation, get more information from the OMI, Office of Medical Investigator up north. And with that, we present that to DA, see what the DA wants to do with charges, if any at all.
Okay.
The age of the decedent, they usually expedite autopsy reports and such. With normal people that pass naturally at home, it takes a couple months for us to get reports back. Stuff like this, we'll get it back pretty soon.
Still more, they don't know.
They
We
don't know
don't-
yet, babe.
We don't know. That's why he'll be going up north.
As soon as they're done with her, like, if everything's okay, will I be able to bring her home with me?
Yes,
I will?
yes.
Okay.
It's, I don't know where she'll be going.
With me? To
No,
my house? I mean, like,
when she gets life
Oh,
flighted. I
okay.
don't know which one.
they told me Loveless.
Loveless Regional Center.
Yeah.
Loveless Regional?
Yes, yeah,
That's my card.
Okay.
Keep a hold of me.
okay,
So if she stays at Loveless and then she gets released, she can go back to y'all.
okay,
Okay.
And I'll be in touch with you to try and set up an interview with her.
okay.
Oh yeah, that is her. She's here? Yeah. Miss Trevizo, you're an adult. That's Alexee Trivizo leaving.
Hello?
Hi, Miss Rodriguez.
Yes, sir?
Hi, this is Detective Gonzalez, Artesia Police Department.
Who is this?
Detective Gonzalez, Artesia Police Department.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm calling you today because I tried to get a hold of Alexee at school.
Why would you go to school? Why wouldn't you come here to my house?
Well, because you told me that I need to speak with a lawyer before you talk to me. But I need to hear that from Alexee first. Would she be willing to just tell me that in person at your house?
Okay, why? What? Yeah, I'll have her tell you. Tell her you're only going to talk to him with the lawyer present.
I need to hear it I have to be in person, man, so I know it's her.
Hello?
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 Hi, this is Detective Gonzalez.
Okay.
Hi, is this Alexee?
Yes.
Hi, ma'am. I just need to meet you in person. I know your mom told me for you that you would only talk with a lawyer present. I just need to hear that in person, okay?
Well, I will only talk with the lawyer present.
I just have to hear that in person, okay? When would be a good time to meet you? To tell me that in person.
You can come to my house right now, Detective Gonzalez, if you want to. I'm here and she's here.
Okay, that'll work. I'll head that way then.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I am.
Hi, Ms. Rodriguez. I'm Detective Minter as well.
I just and he told us not to say anything. No statement from Lexi. No, I don't know. That's just what he's telling us.
Okay, well, I just sense she's involved. She's not a juvenile. She is the adult.
I understand that, Mr. Gonzalez. I understand that.
And all we need is, all we're going to ask her is, do you want to talk to us? And it's a yes or a no. If she says no, then we turn around and you won't see us again.
If she says yes, talk to your lawyer and we'll set up a time, okay?
That's it. That's all we need. That's honestly, that's it.
It's just the issue since you're not her guardian because she's an adult. I get you're taking care of her, but we just have to have it here, like from the horse's mouth, pretty much.
I don't know. He just told me not to.
I mean, there's nothing incriminating. It's a yes or no question.
What are y'all going to do about the hospital?
What about the hospital?
We were there over 2.5 hours. We went for help. They gave my daughter morphine and Trevizo and Zofran and never went in for her. What are y'all going to do about the hospital?
Well, ma'am, it's an ongoing investigation, and since you're not, your daughter is the one involved in that, not you.
But I was there the whole time
I
as well.
understand that. If you would like to talk to us, you're more than welcome to come talk to us about it.
She's an adult, and so we have to hear it from her. I know you already told me before, but we just need to hear it from her.
Yes, and it's just a yes or no question. Alexee, would you like to sit down and talk with us about what happened? If she says, no, I don't want to do it without my lawyer, then that's it. Then we're done. We're going to turn around, get in our pickup, and drive off.
You're not going to be bothering her at school, are you?
Nope, that's why
we will, because I have to hear it from her. Such thing as I have to hear it from her. Eventually.
Lexi.
And we will not go back to the school. Hi, Alexee.
Hi.
Do you want to talk to us about the incident that happened on January 27th?
I just sitting down without my lawyer.
Okay. All right. That's all I needed to hear. Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a safe day.
Would y'all mind talking to me later when y'all are okay?
Yeah, I was with her. I know she talked to him for a while on the phone, and then she came to me, so I've been with her the rest of the time.
Today? Mm-hmm. Oh. So what did she come here for that she told you?
She told me she had back pain.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Has she been having back pain before?
Yeah, she's pain for her and her hips is no. I mean, she was born with like her. I don't know. It's like crooked.
Her spine?
Okay, because my ex-husband, he hit me. He beat me whenever I was pregnant with her. Mm-hmm. So she was early. So she had some problems with her hips. Like I always had to take her to the chiropractor to get adjusted because she couldn't use it. Like she was always getting constipated. Like she had to get lined up, whatever. So I mean, I've been taking her to chiropractor because I always thought, well, this time, I didn't know. I honestly didn't know she was pregnant. I didn't know. I just thought, like she said, I have back pain more. My hips are hurting me. I think I need to go to the chiropractor. I said, okay, let's go tomorrow. But she was like in really a lot of pain, and
When did it start?
Like the pain?
Yes.
Yesterday she said it was really bad, that her hips were hurting and her back. And then last night we're on the phone together and she said her hips were hurting bad. I asked her if anything else was hurting, and she said just everything. And she went to sleep.
But she's a cheerleader too, so she's big in cheers.
Check out this video of Alexee performing on her high school cheerleading squad less than 3 weeks before she gave birth. Cops say that's a baby bump showing, and she must have known she was pregnant.
They have a cheer competition. She works out. I mean.
And she's been active this whole time?
Yeah, she's been active this whole time.
And who does she live with?
with me.
So
Her parents are with us. Yeah,
Okay.
'cause she's in school. She's a senior. So,
And how long have y'all been together?
Almost 2 years.
2 years? Okay. So I'm not trying to be rude, but you are more than likely would be the father? Okay.
yes.
It's,
No, we get it. We get
sometimes it happens. So with everything that comes with that, gets a little shaky when it's newborn, stuff like that. But with like death certificates, stuff like that, Turping and Sons, if you choose to use them, we'll be the ones to help you get those. Other than that, because that's all really you'd need, and they can help you with the afterlife care, okay? Do y'all have any questions for me right now? Okay. You have my number. You can, that is my work phone if you want to text me. I'm on the phone with our dispatch, so all mine will be here in 45 minutes. It's one of their field agents.
Okay.
And they're the ones, so in the state of Mexico, we're not allowed to touch anybody that's passed.
Okay.
They're called a decedent. They're the only ones allowed to actually handle somebody. So we wait for them to even do anything. So hospitals allowed to do it because they do care, life-saving efforts. Whenever life-saving efforts cease, no one's allowed to touch them. So we have to wait for them to show up
Okay.
before we even start that side of stuff, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Should I get a lawyer for her? Should I?
You can, that's your choice. I can't tell you what to do. That's something that y'all as a family have to talk about, okay?
Well, why we would have talked to her over in Roswell?
Yes.
But that door right here, they won't let her.
Yeah, they wouldn't let us.
Yeah.
She should be gone by now.
Okay.
So that's with the helicopters coming in, they want nobody near it so that way you can't mess with anything. Because if any of their vitals go off, they'll stop it.
Yeah.
Which could be an issue for if they need care immediately. So that's why whenever someone gets life flighted, they just cut off every contact with the family.
Okay.
Because they're making sure she's getting set up to get transported out.
Okay.
So that's why they tell you leave.
Yeah.
It seems very harsh, but it's because with the flight nurse, the flight doctor, they have to make sure everything stays constant.
Okay.
Your current street address?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. They'll be in contact with you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let them know you're with us too. Alexee.
Okay, what's going on? What are we doing? I'll bring her out. Just tell me what's going on.
For her arrest.
Okay.
I will give it to her whenever
Can I see her?
she can see the warrant when she gets arrested.
This is my house. I have a right to see the warrant.
I'm letting you know she has a warrant for her arrest. We don't have a search warrant for your house. We have a warrant for her arrest.
Okay, can we see the warrant?
Yeah, once we
She gets a copy of it.
Can I go up there when you take her up there?
You can go to the detention. Do you know where it is?
Everything? Okay, so what is she under arrest for?
She's over 18. She's got to talk to her.
I understand that,
Right.
Detective Gonzalez.
Right.
What is she under arrest for?
She has a warrant for arrest. Okay?
For what?
That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay?
What do you mean that's all you're going to tell me?
she's over the age of 18.
I understand that, but I have a right to know as well.
And we'll tell you that, but we
Okay, then let me know now.
We need the cooperation.
Let me know now. I'm giving you the cooperation. I told you answer my question. What is she under arrest for?
Like I said, she's over the age of 18. Like, that we can't relinquish that information, but if you bring her out here, we'll tell you.
What is she under arrest
Bring her out here,
for?
we'll tell you right in front of you.
No, I'm not bringing her out here yet. Let me know what she's under arrest
She's
for.
gonna get arrested regardless, ma'am. I mean, I don't know why you're
For what? For what? For what?
Are you okay with telling me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me.
Homicide. Open count of homicide. And tampering with evidence.
Tampering with evidence?
Yes.
At the hospital?
Yes.
So, can we see her now?
Give me a minute.
Okay.
I have a right to see a warrant. It doesn't matter if she's over the age of 18. This is my house. You have a right. You have to show me that warrant.
If we're searching your house.
Even if she's under arrest, you have to show me the
It's
warrant.
up-
Hey, I have the detectives here. They want to arrest my daughter. They're saying they have a warrant, but they can't show me a warrant for her arrest. Okay, thank you so much.
You good? When we get to over there, I'll give you a copy. She gets her copy. And then it's up to her.
Can I see the warrant?
It's an arrest warrant for her. It's
Okay,
not a
can I
search
see
warrant
the
for your
arrest warrant?
house.
I want to see the arrest warrant.
And what will that prove?
You could arrest mom for obstruction.
We'll go there.
Trying to do one.
Protective there.
Probably just nosy neighbor.
Yeah, she's here. She's here right now.
Yeah, man, it's nothing personal. It really isn't. And we understand. But we have to do our jobs too. Okay?
I understand that. I understand that.
Who's this?
That's Melanie. That's Devin's mom. She's good. She's okay.
We're not going to be rough with her or anything. We're just going to take her over there and book her.
Please don't be rough with her, please.
Just bring her out. You can be with her the entire time. Okay?
Do you know where the public safety complex is? 3300 West Main?
You can follow us over there. I will take you there.
I released the criminal complaint to her. She can then give it to you there, okay?
When can I get, like, her bond? What?
That's set up by the judge. It's Magistrate Judge Chuck Foster. He should be doing it if it's after 3. He'll be doing it in the morning. Go on the back. All right.
So you have the original?
I have the original and a copy.
A copy. So you want to give me the copy, and I'll make you a copy?
Works for me.
What's your name?
Alexee.
Okay. What's the last 4 of your social?
She don't even know it.
You don't know it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Alexia, do you know your date of birth?
Yes.
Okay.
What is it?
11/25/03.
Yeah.
Do you have to walk her all the way over there? Can you bring a car up there? Please.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
That's all. Just please.
I'll go get it.
Are you okay with your mother getting the criminal complaint? It has your personal identifying information on it. Serial number, date of birth.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. I have to serve you first, then your mom can get it, okay?
Okay.
I do. He's gonna move his unit around.
She has still been like bleeding, so I don't know if she needs.
Do you have any? They do. I don't know if they have tampons.
They do have feminine products.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure if you take your own, you can use your own if you need it.
Can she? Do you want to grab some? Can she grab some of that right quick? Or?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Just making sure you're doing.
Just grab it a little.
Okay. And just nothing sharp, no flammables, nothing sharp. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. They're gonna check it when you get over there. Okay.
Okay.
Confirms that address is 611 North 1st Street. 611 North 1st.
Okay. We'll check those. Same thing. Okay. They're gonna check all that when you get over there. Okay. Thank you.
I'm going up there right now too. Okay.
All right. What's in there?
Personal pads.
Personal pads?
Yeah, she needs them.
Follow me.
3300 West Main Street, the Public Safety Complex. If you just go through the front door, you know where we first spoke in the records?
Will it be you guys tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. I told him at 10 o'clock you could come over.
Okay.
Okay. You and your CYFD person.
Yes.
I'm better. It's
Okay.
just her, but you know.
So have you, are you family?
Yes, this is her sister. This is my daughter.
I just don't want to talk about anything.
Yeah.
Have you thought about therapy for her?
Not yet, but I was going to look into it. I was going to look on the back of the insurance card. They told me there were some numbers on the back.
Yeah, so that's how you go through our your insured providers. Just FYI, for us, we have PMS here in town. They're the ones that most people are insured through.
Okay.
And so if you want to do in town, we do PMS here, and then we have one in Carlsbad, 2 in Roswell.
Okay.
That are usually on all of everybody's insurance.
Okay. Did
Something to
you
think about.
hear about like HIPAA was broke and there's like a whole bunch of rumors out?
I heard there was rumors through the high school.
Yeah.
The nurses do talk, but yeah, that's just small town stuff.
But that shouldn't have happened.
It shouldn't
That's why
have.
it's HIPAA.
And I know. Well, and because I was reading on that and like on Facebook, everyone's doing all that stuff. Because we did do a disclosure, and that was through our person of contact. That's our PSU command supervisor. So he did do one. He didn't put any name in it or anything like that. And that's just something he did because he was being asked about it for so long.
Okay.
So that one was done, but then I hear like the high school's talking a lot.
Yeah. I had teachers message me and everything. So.
Really? So everyone already knows.
Yeah. That's a bad thing about a small town.
Yeah, that is the best thing about a small town.
I do.
But like I said, but more importantly, I talked to insurance about therapy.
Yes. And I am going to keep her home for about a week, and I am going to look for like therapy for her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to do all of that as much as I can today and tomorrow. So.
Well, appreciate it.
Yeah.
At least you're actually a parent that cares.
I love my daughter. She's my everything. But yeah, you guys can come over tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll be there.
We'll
it has a red roof.
We'll contact you before, make sure it's still okay.
Yeah.
We do that all just before, so that way you're not like forget about it. Some people do.
No, I won't forget about it.
Just go over there.
And a more personal petition surrounding Trevizo. Thousands of people have already signed it, asking New Mexico State University to reconsider Trevizo's admission to the school.
A judge released her before trial under strict conditions. One of them includes maintaining or starting an educational program. But more than 15,000 people don't agree with that order. There's an online petition for New Mexico State leaders to reconsider Trevizo's admission at New Mexico State University, implement stricter background checks, and collaborate with local law enforcement to ensure people charged with violent crimes against kids are not permitted to careers. The petition mentions nursing, social work, and any field of education. The creator says Trevizo pursuing an education that involves caring for others is morally wrong and poses significant risks to potential patients and clients.
The last thing that I want to talk about is the toxicology and autopsy report of the baby. So I have to look at my phone because I don't want to get anything wrong, but I saw that there was a channel, it was suggested to me, of course, because I was looking into all this, a channel, like a true crime channel, and they had mentioned that the baby had SARS, COVID, and some other stuff, and pneumonia, and I'm like, what? That's crazy. So I was like going to talk about it in this video, and then I look up the actual report, and it doesn't actually say that. Where that comes from is an interview that Alexee's lawyer did, saying that that's what the baby had, so probably to try to defend what Alexee did and how the baby couldn't even be saved, right? Because she said the baby wasn't breathing, blah, blah, whatever. But this is false. So this is why it's really important for us to do our own thinking. I'm not even saying that everything I'm saying is fact and you have to listen to me. I want you to form your own opinions. I'm just sharing something with you. But I'm going to read for you the toxicology report, not like in full. I'll put it on the screen and yeah, let's see. Okay. So it says that the baby died from entrapment, and if the baby had been suffocated, it wouldn't have said the baby died from suffocation via entrapment or by entrapment. So what it actually says is that the baby was, so why it's entrapment is it was found, the baby was found in a plastic trash bag. There was an adrenal hemorrhage, and there was no injuries. So what it comes down to is the babies need oxygen. So if anyone, like, you know, when you put your head under your covers and how your oxygen is lower, you go into like I was just gonna say a tent, but like my kids play tent. I feel like my oxygen goes down because there's not good air circulation in there, just like there being little netting at the top. It's like that, right? And this is a brand new baby, so that's why it died, because it didn't have air. But it specifically says in here, it says the lungs were aerated and there was air in the stomach, which proves it was not born stillborn, but it took air that went all the way to its lungs and its stomach. So this is very important to address here and to note. It also says here that post-mortem viral testing showed no viruses. So this thing that the lawyer is saying, and that now another true crime channel has pointed out, is false. So the baby did not have any viruses. It also says that the post-mortem bacterial culture showed no growth in the heart, blood, or left lung. The right lung and cerebral spine fluid showed rare growth of likely contaminated bacteria given the lack of inflammation in the lungs and the brain. So the lungs didn't have any inflammation, so the spine did. So I don't know what kind of infection the baby had, possibly in their spine. Maybe that'll come out in the court case. But the lungs didn't. So if there was like any sort of cold, when you have a cold, your lungs are inflamed. So the baby didn't have anything like that. So again, the baby does not have, at least from this, the baby did not have SARS, COVID, any of these kind of things, right? And it says they attempted to do a chromosome analysis, but it was inadequate for interpretation. It's obviously to see if the baby had chromosomal abnormalities, because that would be not compatible with life as well, depending on the chromosomal abnormality. My daughter, for example, has chromosomal abnormality, and she is compatible with life, although we were told we could choose not to have her, and obviously we chose to have her. So it does say, though, that the baby was based on the length, weight, organ size, and then a redacted part, which is term and compatible with life outside the uterus. So it says that the baby was compatible with life. So this is very important and a very good thing that they were able to get this, because I heard that Alexee's mom cremated the baby, or got the baby cremated, but they performed this without their knowledge. I guess obviously it's standard protocol to do it right away. So thank God this happened, because then it can prove in court at least that the baby was compatible with life and it just wasn't given a shot, which it makes me really sad to hear about the staff. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's anything, or do you think what I'm thinking is false and I shouldn't be thinking this? And then where it goes from here is that her trial doesn't start until August 2024. So that's next year. That's crazy. So that should also show us, if you've been following the Jody Hildebrandt and Ruby Franken case, it's going to be some time. Like, it's been 3 months and we haven't really heard much besides Kevin getting a divorce from her and whatever, but it doesn't mean we won't hear stuff. But I've been kind of like losing hope in the system. I'm like, oh, come on. But now seeing with this Alexee case, it is what it is. But the thing that really sucks is that she's out and she's trying to become a nurse, and like, that's fucked. Like, she allegedly KILLED a baby, her own baby, and now is trying to become a nurse. That just blows my mind, you know? It's just mental. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, this Vlogmas video. I really enjoyed covering this case. My next video, I'm going to try to post it tomorrow if I can, but I might have to just have a day in between. It's really hard to gather all this information. This video took a really long time, as you can see by the length of this video, to put everything in order and make it make sense and everything, and give a more clear picture. I hope it gave a more clear picture to everybody about this case. I'm going to hopefully talk about OK Baby. I'm very interested in this couple and just like the drama and everything like that. I think there's some stuff not being called out that should be called out, but in general, I think there were signs from the beginning that they were doomed, honestly. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I hope that wherever you are, you're having a fantastic day. Bye.